Hello students, I am Dr. Rajaram Dhok from Savitribai Phule Pune University affiliated Agricultural Development Trust Shardabai Pawar Mahila College Sharda Nagar Baramati. Let's start. Chemistry of F block element lecture 4. Introduction to actinides. So second part from this F block element is actinide series. So firstly we see the introduction about this actinide series. So what is the actinide? What is the position of actinides in the periodic table? Then different elements, name of that element, symbol of that elements, and electronic configuration of that elements. Then oxidation state of that elements. So firstly we see the position of that actinide series elements in the periodic table. So already in the start of the lanthanide, we have seen also this position of lanthanide, actinide in the periodic table. Again, we revise in short with the help of that periodic table. So, you know that in the periodic table, there is actinide series. So that actinide series that is present below the D block element, or that is the inner transition series. So in inner transition series, there are two series. One is lanthanide and other is actinide. So actinide series is started in the 7th period, and in the third B group there is element actinium, and that actinium elements atomic number 89. From that this series is started. So in the third B, that electrons are filled in the actinium. Actually this actinium contains 0 electron in the f orbital, but after actinium electrons are filled in the f orbital. You see in the actinium here in 4f, 5f, 0 electrons present, and after that electrons are filled in the f orbitals. And so this series is started from actinium. So this series is called as actinide series. Now when we see the electronic configuration of this actinide series, then in this actinide series you see this electronic configuration here, this 4f and 5d, for 5f and 6d, these orbitals have nearly same energy, and because of this same energy, here electron can be filled either in 5f or in 6d. And so here electronic configuration is not fixed, they can be changed. There is uncertainty in the electronic configuration. So if you write that electronic configuration in thorium, that is 5f0 6d2 7s2. So this is the electronic configuration. But here we see 5f contains 0, 6d contains 2. So this is not fixed. The one of the electron is filled in f also. So here in case of the thorium, we write the electronic configuration Rn 5f1, 6d1 and 7s2. So that is also correct. And here Rn 5f0, 6d2, 7s2, that is also correct. Because in the f orbital there may be 0 electron or there may be 1 electron. In 6d there may be 1 electron or 2 electron. And why this? Because of the same energy of that 5f and 6d. And that is observed in all these elements also. Means electron can be filled in the 5f or that can be filled in the 6d. So here strict electronic configuration or particular electronic configuration is not shown by the actinide series. So electron can be change their positions. And so if we write electronic configuration flexibly, then it is also correct because that possibility is also false. So we see the electronic configuration of these all elements. So this series is started from actinum, atomic number 89, and the atomic number 103, lawrencium, is the last member of this series. Now again, we see here total elements are 50. But in the this A block element or actinide series, 14 elements present. So 89 atomic number containing elements actinum is actually not member of this series. Series started from thorium, but it is the inner transition series, and that inner transition series started from actinum. So this name is given actinide series. Now there is a question: this actinum is member of this series or not? So we say the actually it is not member of this series, but series is started from this, so it may be included in that because properties of actinum and all other actinide series element are same, and so we say these are member of this series or may not be member of this series. So there is not a question or there is not a situation of the quarrel that it is member or not member. So we take the our explanation as per the need. Now you see the atomic number 90, thorium, and its symbol is Th. Then protactinium Pa, uranium U. Then 93 neptunium Np, 94 plutonium Pu, 95 americium Am, 96 curium Cm, 97 berkelium Bk, 98 californium Cf, 99 einsteinium Es, 100 fermium Fm, 101 mendelevium Md, 102 nobelium No, 103 lawrencium Lw. So these are the different elements of this actinide series. Now, if we see here the names of these elements, then we can find that there are some names of country, there are some names of scientist, there are some names of city. And why these names are given? Because when that elements are discovered, then depending upon the scientist, there is right to that scientist that he give the names. And so according to their own name or according to their city, according to the country, they have given the names. And it is simple for our identification. So you see here Americium, then Californium. These are the names of country, California, America. Then Einsteinium, that is name of scientist. Curium, that is name of scientist. Berkelium. So these are the name. Mendelevium, means that is the name of Mendeleev. Now we see the electronic configuration of this. So electronic configuration, we write the general electronic configuration. But you remember that this is not strict. It is change or that may be not a fix. Now in actinium, 5F0 61 7s2. In thorium, 5F0 62 7s2 or 5F1 61 7s2. Then protactinium 5F2 61 7s2. Now again you see here in the 6D one electron is continued and up to the half field stability, here that one electron is filled in the 6D, and the as atomic number increases successively electrons are filled in the 5F. So we not see here electronic configuration of all. You see here 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Up to the curium, 7 electrons filled. In berkelium, 5F86D1. Then again here in the californium, 6D contains 0 electron and 5F electrons are added, or one more electron is added in 5F, and so 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and also in the lawrencium 14 and 61. So this is the electronic configuration of these elements are for. Now we see the oxidation number. So in case of the oxidation number, this actinide elements shows +3 and +4 oxidations in different compounds. So generally, +3 oxidation state is stable oxidation state. +3 oxidation state is stable oxidation state. So you see in actinum, here one radius, here radius is given, and here in M+3, here 1.11 radius is given. So here that radius is given. Now we see here oxidation state. Here actinum shows +3, thorium shows +3 and +4, but out of that +4 is more stable. So in the bracket, here oxidation states are shown, and that bracket oxidation states are less stable, and other oxidation state which is outside the bracket, they are more stable. Then protactinium shows 4 and 5, but 5 is more stable. Uranium shows 3, 4, 5 and 6. In that 6 is more stable. NP shows 3, 4, 6, 5. 5 is more stable. Then plutonium shows 3, 4, 5, 6, but 4 is more stable. Americium shows 3, 4, 5, 6, but +3 is more stable. Curium shows +3 and +4, but +3 is more stable. Berkelium shows 3 and 4. In that 3 is more stable. Now the other elements, californium, einsteinium, fermium, mendelevium, it also shows +3 oxidation state. Now in this way the different oxidation states are observed. So you remember that which is the more stable and which is comparatively less stable. In nobelium and lawrencium, the oxidation states are not known because these radioactive elements and that radioactive elements are not stable. Its half-life period is very less, and so determination of property is also very difficult. So you see here in case of the radius of +3 and radius of +4, some radius are measured, but other radius are not measured. Here there is blank table because in this state, in these elements, these radius is not measured because of their unstable property, or half-life period is very small. So in this way, here we have seen the electronic configuration, then oxidation state. Now if we see the melting point, then that melting point of these element, again you only superficially see that thorium has melting point 1750. It is very high. Protactinium has 1560. These are also high. Means in all the cases, in all the metals, here melting points are very high, and some metals melting point is not known because of its instability. So these are the some properties of these elements. Now we see the occurrence of actinides. So when we see the occurrence of actinides, that actinides are present in small amount in nature in the form of pitch blende and monazite sand ore. So this pitch blende and monazite sand, these are the two main ores in that these actinide elements are present in small quantity. Again, these are present in thorium. So thorium is found up to the 30% in monazite sand, and that also contains some lanthanides like cerium, protactinium. And so when we separate the thorium from that monazite sand, then some other part is the waste or the byproduct, and in that byproduct that lanthanides are present or they are separated. So from the monazite sand we can extract the thorium and also the various lanthanols. Now if we see occurrence of that lanthanide in different countries, or occurrence of that actinides or such type of ores, then in India mainly such ores are in less quantity, and in other countries they are in the large quantity. So such are present in the thorite ores. So such type of compounds or actinides also present in the thorite ores. This monazite sand is the most important ore for thorium, and only that thorium is extracted from that, and there is not other alternative sources for thorium. Generally, such type of thorium and uranium, they are obtained from their natural sources, that is the thorite or from the monazite sand. Then all others, they are produced synthetically. So thorium and uranium, these two elements are present in the earth crust, in the different ores, in the different minerals, and the other elements above the thorium. Thorium has atomic number 92, and above the thorium, that is 93 to above elements. So nowadays up to the 118 elements are discovered. So that all the elements above 92, they are produced synthetically from the different reactions, and that is the radioactive reactions. And such radioactive reactions are carried out, and with the help of that reactions, that is called as nuclear reactions, that all the elements are prepared. And so the elements which is above the uranium, that is called as transuranic elements. And such transuranic elements are prepared by the nuclear reactions. So in this topic, mainly we see the different nuclear reactions, only thorium and uranium present in the earth crust, and other elements are synthetic elements. Now we see the general method for the preparation of these transuranic elements. So there are three general methods for the preparation of these transuranic elements. In that, first method is neutron bombardment. Second method is bombardment with accelerated particles, or that is also called as high voltage nuclei. Third method is heavy ion bombardment. So from this name, we get idea what is that method. So first is the neutron bombardment. Means we bombard the neutron on the target nuclei. That target nuclei are broken into smaller particles, and at that time the other elements or higher elements can be prepared. Then second method, bombardment of accelerated particles. So some higher weight particles are taken, they are accelerated, and then they are bombarded, or that is also called as high voltage nuclei. Third is heavy ion bombardment. Heavy ion bombardment means heavy ions, its molecular weights are higher, like carbon, then nitrogen or oxygen. That is the radioactive element. They are accelerated and they are bombarded. That is called as heavy ion bombardment. So we see this all the three methods with suitable example one by one. So in this lecture, we see the neutron bombardments, and other methods we see in the next lecture. So we see the neutron bombardment method firstly. So in the neutron bombardment process, this process is carried out in a nuclear reactor, and which serves as a neutron source. So this reaction is carried out in the nuclear reactor, in that mainly the natural material, that is uranium, is taken, and that uranium is bombarded by neutron. So this neutron possesses no any charge, and that can be readily bring about head-on collision with nuclei of atom. So that neutron means they have not any charge, but it has mass 1. Then such reactions are carried out in the nuclear reactor, or that is called as neutron reactions, in which neutron is captured by the nucleus of that atom. And when that nucleus captures neutron, then that nucleus is converted into some other form. So that neutron captured by nucleus increases its neutron to proton ratio. And when neutron to proton ratio increases, then this proton ratio increases continuously until the nucleus becomes unstable. Means we bombard the neutron on that target nucleus, then its neutron number increases, so total neutron to proton ratio increases, and this increases up to the stage that that nucleus becomes unstable. And when that becomes unstable, then such type of nucleus eliminates some particles. So such neutron is converted into proton or some other material. So in this way, we can bombard the neutron. It becomes unstable. When it becomes unstable, then they are converted into some other isotopes. So this process is followed by the different. So firstly, neutron is bombarded, and when it becomes unstable, then it eliminates some particles like beta particles. And when that beta particles are eliminated, then the higher atomic number elements are formed. So actually we see this with the help of reactions. So you get idea very easily. So we take here uranium 92 238, means uranium which have atomic number 92 and atomic mass 238. On that we bombard one neutron. So neutron has no any charge, but it has one mass. And when that neutron is bombarded on that uranium 238, then at that time mass of that uranium increases by 1. So you see here the reaction uranium 92 239. And when that uranium 239 is formed, then gamma radiations are given out. So gamma radiations are given out. So gamma radiation means that gamma radiations are given in the form of energy. So large amount of energy is given out. Now this uranium 92 239, it is unstable. So it releases one beta particle. So here written uranium 92 239 minus beta. Minus beta means one beta particle is eliminated. It is given out. And when one beta particle is eliminated, then there is formation of uranium 93 239. So beta particle is equivalent to electron. Beta particle means that is the equivalent to electron. You know the electron has one charge, that is the minus charge, and they have not any mass. So we write the electron in this way, electron minus 1 0. So when one beta particle or when one electron is eliminated, then atomic number increase by 1. So again you see this reaction simply, that when one neutron is bombarded, then mass of the nuclei increases by 1. And at that time, the new element or new isotope is formed which carries mass higher than 1 unit. And at that time also, gamma radiations are given out or energy is given out. Now, this isotope is unstable. When it is unstable, then it eliminates beta particles. So that beta particles when eliminated, then atomic number increases by 1. So when neutrons are bombarded, then mass of that nucleus is increases by 1. And when beta particles are eliminated, then atomic number increases by 1. So in this way, you remember that, or you understand that there are different nuclei. That is the neutron, proton, electron, alpha particles, gamma particles, beta particles. And what is the meaning of that? What is by alpha? What is by beta? What is by gamma? In that, what is the charge and what is the mass? That all the things are important. So in this way, here we can carry out the process, and in that process, we can bombard the neutron, and there is elimination of gamma particle. So such type of reaction that is called as N gamma. So N gamma means in that the particles are given in the bracket. In that first particle is N and second is gamma. So what is the meaning of this? This first particle is bombarding particle and second particle is eliminating particle. And so when there is N gamma reaction, means neutrons are bombarded, and by bombarding of the neutron, that new nuclei is formed and that carries one mass more, and at that time gamma radiations are given. Again, this nucleus is unstable because when neutron to proton ratio increases, then it becomes unstable, and when it becomes unstable, then it eliminates different particles. So when it eliminates beta particle, then atomic number of that nuclei increases by 1. So in this way, we can prepare the different transuranic element by this process. Now we see this reaction continued. So here we have shown this reaction. Again we see here uranium 92 238. On that we can carry out the N gamma reaction. N gamma reaction means neutron is bombarded and gamma particles are eliminated. So here this reaction is carried out in 23 minutes. So here uranium 92 239 is formed. It is unstable. Its half-life period is only 23 minutes. And so it eliminates beta particles and forms NP93 239. Now again, this NP92 239, it is also unstable. So its half-life period is only 2.3 days, and it eliminates again the beta particles, and it forms Pu, plutonium 94 239. This plutonium 94 239 is stable. Its half-life period is very high. So we make that unstable, and for that purpose we bombard the neutron. So we carry out the N gamma reaction. So when neutron is bombarded, then mass increases by 1. So you see here 239, this mass, they are increased to 240. So this is also stable. So again we carry out the N gamma reaction. So when N gamma reaction is carried out, then again mass increases by 1. So instead of 240, here mass increases 241. So you remember that when one neutron is bombarded, then only mass increases by 1 unit. Now here Pu241 is formed. It is also stable. So again N gamma reaction is carried out. Then mass again increased by 1, 242. This is also stable. Again N gamma reaction is carried out, and there is formation of plutonium 243. Now this plutonium 243 is unstable because here neutron to proton ratio increases and it becomes unstable, and because of that it eliminates one beta particle. So by elimination of one beta particle, it forms the next element, atomic number 95, that is americium 243. Now this Am 95 243 is stable. So to make unstable, we again bombard the neutron, and this 243 is converted into 244. This 244 is unstable. It eliminates one beta particle and forms next element 96 Cm 244. This is stable. So we bombard the neutron, and N gamma reaction is carried out. We get the Cm 245. Again it is stable. So N gamma reaction is carried out. So in this way we continue the reaction, and in that reaction you see that when there is stable isotope, then we bombard neutron. When bombarded neutron, then mass number increases by 1, and this bombardment of neutron is carried out up to the stage that this isotope becomes unstable. And when it becomes unstable, then it eliminates beta particle. By elimination of beta particle, atomic number increases by 1, and we get the next element. So in this way, from uranium, we increase the number, and up to the 118, we prepare the elements. And this reaction is continued. So we have shown here reaction, but it is not completed. We can increase up to a large extent, that is up to the 118. So in this step or in this process of neutron bombardment, we only increase mass by 1, and by elimination of beta particle, we increase atomic number by 1. And so when we requires mass number and atomic number in only the small steps, then we can use this method. If we requires directly the preparation of higher nuclei, then we use the other methods, that is the bombardment of accelerated particles and bombardment of the heavy ions. So such type of methods we see in the next lecture. So when this bombardment of neutron is carried out, then theoretically the synthesis of new element can be continued until the neutron proton ratio of their daughter elements is too high to have a stable existence, and the yield of heavier element is controlled by two factors, that is the half life of the isotopes and by its ability to absorb the neutron.